Hello and good morning. How are you doing today, Tami?
Hi, Arrow. I'm doing great, and you?
Fantastic. I was with a very good friend, John Burton, who is very, very deep and activated inside the African-American culture here in Charlotte. And he stood there reading your book yesterday going, wow, oh my, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. He can't be the only one that's saying this.
Oh, I like that reaction.
You have put so much love onto these pages. And one of the things that listeners need to understand is that it's not a step back into our PAST past. It's stories that have been passed forward. And you're the vehicle.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm flattered. That's pretty much what I aim to do with this particular book. We Are Here does shine a light on history. History from the beginning of time all the way, through now and across the globe. So you hit the nail on the head.
Well, one of the things that you bring up here is, we are here, but yet if you ask a lot of children and stuff like that, we say, where is your here? And most of them kind of shrug their shoulders. We need books like this because it helps them embrace that there was something before them.
Yes. There were people who came before them who dared to dream and who paved the path so that they could be here. So, yeah.
I love the way that you with the illustrations and stuff like that. What was the musical collaboration between the two of you? Because it looks so perfect together.
So Brian Collier is hands down one of my favorite children's book artists. We actually collaborated on our first book together. It's called All Because You Matter. We Are Here is the second book in the series. Though it is considered a standalone, you could absolutely read We Are Here first without reading All Because You Matter. But they're connected. And for All Because You Matter, the boy on the cover, that's my son.
Oh.
So we did a photo shoot with Brian. Yeah, it was very fun. He got to miss school for the day. We went upstate New York. He loved that. And we did a photo shoot for that book. And then for We Are Here, Brian's approach was to ask me for lots of baby pictures of myself. This book is dedicated to the child that I lost a few years ago. So I think between his daughter and baby pictures of myself growing up, he kind of reimagined what our main character would look like. What's book two.
What's so inspiring about that is the fact that so many people face tragedy and then they shut down, they walk away, they hide. And I love the way that you are embracing it and you're building a story from it. It's almost like you are spreading brand new seeds into this open field.
If I'm being honest, I feel like writing this book was healing for me.
Yeah. When
I did go through that, period of tragedy, as you call it, or infertility. It was a difficult time, and I didn't really deal with it. But for some reason, writing this book was healing to me because it did make me think, what would I have said to my daughter had she been here during the pandemic, seeing some of the things that my son was seeing online and on the news and sparking these questions and conversations that my son had, what would I have said to my daughter? So that's where, that kind of imaginative text, it came from all of that in my imagination, what I would have said. And this book captures everything I would have told her.
Wow. I'm a daily writer, so I ask a lot of questions inside those journals and things. Did this start off? Are you a journal writer too? Because when you're asking questions like that, it's not because you're putting together a children's book. Those questions were asked before you got there.
Oh, yeah. I have tons of journals, and I'm a little obsessive with mine. I don't throw mine away. Do you?
No, I do not. In this very studio that I am, because I believe in the energy of writing, I have 28 years of journals inside this room.
Oh, you're my kind of person then.
There's energy in writing. I just wish people would understand that putting a pen to paper, there's just something very energetic and magical about it.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I love writing my journals. In my journals, I I buy new ones all the time. I fill them up. I write. I don't just write my own words. Sometimes I'll see something that inspires me, a poem or a snippet, and I'll put that in my journal too. I'll doodle. I'm not very good at drawing, but I try.
I'll hear a word, someone speak something, and I'll go, I'm going to research that word and see if I can figure out if we're using that word properly. And it reminds me of back when we were in elementary school when the teacher would say, go look it up in the dictionary. So that's exactly what I do.
Same.
Wow. So when a book like this comes together, it doesn't just happen overnight. This means some alone time with you in your writing space. How did it come together in the way that it was? Because I mean, you had to articulate, and number two, you had to use brevity with the way that you were going to take these young readers.
Oh, you have to use brevity in picture books. You have but so many words and pages to get your message and your story across. I would like to credit the pandemic for kind of helping in the sense that we were home. I didn't have anywhere else to go. So, I had lots and lots of time to be in my writing space and to come up with these words. But truly, it was inspired through my son's questions because he was home and seeing things online. He had lots of questions about the pandemic and mask wearing and, why are people protesting? There were so many conversations. So I said, I have to write these down. Wow. And then those thoughts became words, and the words became pictures, and it became a book.
Wow. It's almost like for a moment he was the teacher and you wrote the essay. The essay became the book. You
are spot on. That's pretty much how it happened.
Wow. See, what a connection. I swear that as we continue to grow forward and things like that, there's going to be so many things that we learn during that moment of time out that is just going to shine for the next generations.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that he kind of took the initiative. If anything, I learned a lot from my son just through his questions, just seeing, what impacts him, what's on his mind, how is he feeling about the pandemic and about, what he was seeing in the news and online. I got a front row seat to, a child's thought process.
Well, you also had a lot of practice because you were once a teacher.
Yes, 14 years, Linden, New Jersey.
Woo! Yeah, but that's one of the see, my wife is a teacher, and what I do is I sit down with adults who are trying to learn broadcasting and stuff. I love helping out the human imagination and allowing them to trust it and to grow with it, that it's not going to happen overnight.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what I did as a teacher. 14 years of really helping to build my students' imaginations. We read so many stories, and then inspired by those stories, we would write our own together. And some of those stories became plays that we performed for the school. So, their imaginations just kind of went through the stratosphere during those years. Those were good times.
So you were always the writer, always the performer? I mean, are you a secret little artist that we don't know about? Like maybe a musician that we don't know about yet?
Maybe. I've always loved anything creative.
Yeah.
Writing, performing. Yeah, I grew up, I think it was because my mom just wanted to keep me out of trouble and she wanted to keep me occupied. I took piano lessons. I played clarinet. Acting lessons. Like, I was very involved in the performing arts. Plus, my mom was a teacher at my school, so I had to read whether I wanted to or not. And luckily, I enjoyed it.
Man, my second grade teacher, Mrs. Keefe, second grade, she puts a pencil in my hand and gives me a bunch of pictures of cars, and she says, I don't want you to talk in class anymore. I want you to write. If you hear things in your head, you write about these cars.
Oh, I like that. And did you do it?
I did. I still have it.
Nice.
Oh my God, I still have my spelling books from the first grade.
Oh.
And,
I love that.
That's how I knew I was going to become a writer somehow, some way, and I just wanted to save everything.
Yeah, my mom saved all of my writing, and she kind of kept it in a box. And she didn't give it to me until I was an adult, probably around the time I started teaching. And that's when I opened that box, and I just could not believe what she saved. And I was so grateful for it, because that also kind of gave me, that green light to, maybe I should go back to this. This was a dream that I had as a child. Let me revisit it.
I've always believed that authors write to the future reader. Do you ever think about that? It's like, because you don't know what year or what even country is going to pick up this book, but through your creativity, you're reaching someone's life.
Oh my goodness. What a task and responsibility, but you're right. I do try to think of future readers. I try to inspire them. I try to put something in there that will compel them to pick up the book and read it again and again, and hopefully find something new or feel something new.
Yeah. I mean, as an adult, the first time that I laid my fingers on your book, it's like I felt like that child again, because it's the right size. That's exactly the size of book that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah. It's nostalgic, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then when you open it up and you've got all those beautiful pictures that go with the storyline, and it's so simple for children as well as adults to sit there and read. Now, I'll bet you more adults are going to pick this up because they want to know the story.
Yeah, I hope so. I say that this book is for everyone ages 0 to 99.
Yep. I totally agree.
Any age. And there's something in there. Every time I pick up this book, I see something new in the art, especially in the art, because, I can't take credit for the art. I did write the words, and he did the art according to the words, but the art tells a story, and I see something different every time. It's fascinating to me.
So funny that you say that, because I would read the words, and then I would sit there and look at the art. It's almost like your words brought me to the painting.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take it. For me, because I already wrote the words, I think I just go straight to the art.
Wow.
And just the other day, I looked at the image of the little girl blowing bubbles, which is one of my favorites. But then I noticed that inside of those bubbles, it almost looks like planets. Some of those bubbles look like planets, that's so cool. And when you asked me about future, that's what I think of, how, I see these planets, and it's forward thinking to me.
Absolutely.
And it's possibility, you can go anywhere. These bubbles can take you anywhere in the world if you just dare to dream it.
Wow.
So yeah, a different impact every time I look at the art.
Where can people go to find out more about you, Tami? Because I want them to share some love with you, and I want them to buy the merch.
Oh, thank you. Well, my website is TamiWrites.com. That's TamiWrites.com. I'm on Twitter at Tami Writes Stuff, and Instagram at Tami Writes.
You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you, Miss Tami.
Oh, thank you. I'd be happy to.
Absolutely. Be brilliant today, okay?
You as well.